How comes less than 2 days after Jirongo's burial, Ruto attends a function in the same county and there to promise people?
Hii Kakamega imechelewa na maendeleo miaka nyingi, na nimesema kwa vyovyote, juu chini, kulia na kushoto, mbele na nyuma, hii Kakamega itakuwa katikati ya maendeleo tukisonga mbele.
For a politician like William Ruto, between going to a function where he's the one mobilizing people to attend, to a funeral of the magnitude of Jirongo's funeral, where every leader that is known in Kenya attended, even his competitors attended, how did he miss it? And this one he attended. And let me ask you, the day Jirongo was being buried on 30th of December, where was Ruto? He was in State House. He was just in State House with the family, having a cup of tea, watching and following the funeral from the comfort of his television.
President alisema tukimaliza hii mazishi, hawa mama watatu wapelekwe, wakae, waeleze the profile of the challenges of the family of our brother, ili tuone how best to assist them.
If I'm wrong, I can tell you I have the information from the controller of State House. Now, what happens? Ruto has always done that over the ages. Whenever someone important who is linked to him for his loss of life, he promises something. When Jirongo died, when I told you that a general do not just fall from the sky, a CDF cannot just fall from the sky. It was a succession assassination. And therefore, Ruto ran to the wife's home, gets the son, promises them heaven, which he has not done until now, attends the funeral and talks how much Jirongo was forgiven by him. He forgave him for all the issues about overturning his election.
I appointed General Ogola. General Ogola is among the people who went to bomb us to try and overturn my victory. Do you know that? But because when I looked at his CV, he was the best person to be general.
And yet, we know very well, a general does not fall from the sky. Look at the issue of the death of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga's death, even Raila Odinga died, already a plane is rushing to India. Of course, I know there was a time limit for that, but it was planned, it was executed with precision. That Raila's will, no one has seen it. Only Ruto saw that Raila's will. If I'm wrong, ask Ida to produce for us the will of Raila Odinga. And they say she will be buried in 3 days. Only Ruto said it. We do not know. State House who gave the statement was 3 days. How did they know? How come they didn't know Jirongo's will? If they knew Raila's will, and Jirongo was a closer friend to William Ruto than Raila Odinga. Come to the issue of the Gen Zs who died. Rex Masai, Albert Ojwang, even go to Jerry, who was killed. They were promised the family will be sorted out. Ojwang's family was told after the burial, let the father go to State House, let the widow.
Namshukuru Rais kwa kuchukua kijana wangu Albert Umondi kama kijana wake na kuhisi kuona kitu, sababu wengi wameaga dunia jana, hata juzi, hata wiki jana, lakini alichagua kuchukua mzigo huo kama wake ili akaweze kusema pole kupitia kwa simu yangu.
To go to State House, the son go to State House. They were promised jobs by Sakaja and William Ruto. Ruto gave 1 million shillings to support that family. Jirongo now, after death, people of Kakamega are being told, we will build a stadium to at least make you mourn safely. They are trying to tell people of Kakamega to forget about Jirongo and focus on the stadium and AFCON. Jirongo's family was condoned on behalf of the president by Moses Wetangula, who told them that they'll go to State House and all the children who belong to Jirongo will be educated. Now, you can go and count all history. That's what Ruto has always done. Gen Zs, he gave them the compensation commission, where no one has been compensated. I go to Sugoi, I can tell you of a family that Ruto took their land by force, built his home in Sugoi, and then promised them to get land elsewhere. For 25 years, they're still waiting until today. I went up to Kapkukui, another land of grab there. Kapkukui is in Marigat, in Baringo County. Same thing happened there. Somebody took land there, promised people heaven, no one has seen it. And I can tell you the Ruto is in no short supply of promises which he does not deliver. It's always a promise to make you forget about your pain, yet you get pain later. Ojwang's family is suffering now. Even they were conned a lot of money, and no one cares about them. So William Ruto is William Ruto. And I want to tell you one thing, why you should not be worried about William Ruto. We are going to sort it out, because I know what Ruto will die. I've heard people saying, oh, Ruto ni smart sana, Ruto ni mkora sana. Let me tell you, ukora haitafanyika. For two reasons. One is that the number of people whom I meet on the ground here in Kilifi, I met in Taita Taveta, I met in Kwale, I met in Mombasa, I met in Tana River, I met them in Marigat, I met them in Kisumu, I met them in Siaya, Homa Bay, Migori, I met them in Northeastern. Everybody wants to have a change and wants alternative leadership, which LDP will provide. The number of people who want change is too much that even if you rig to watch magnitude, you need a very competent IBC to make you rig this election, more competent than God. And there is none. In fact, nobody in IBC is even as competent as Chebukati. Chebukati alikuwa mkora sana. Chebukati knew all the ukora. He's the one who made Ruto president. Now, there's no Chebukati. This guy called Ekelon, if I hear even how he talks, he goes nowhere close to the craftsmanship of Chebukati. And therefore, he will do it so poorly that Ruto is going to collapse at the weight of the incompetence of the government he has assembled. Go to Ruto's government. The incompetence of that government from top level to the lowest level, you know it. Go to the CS interior. You cannot compare that CS with Matiang'i, who was as interior there. Matiang'i at least knew what he was doing. This guy, who cannot even do a proper operations of Mandamano, it's poor. Look at how they killed Ojwang. It was very poorly done that all evidence was there. Look at how they have killed Jirongo. It's so poorly done that all evidence is all there. Look at how they killed the people, the Gen Zs. So poor that all evidence is there. Then someone misadvised them to set up a commission to compensate Gen Zs because that means admission of killing. So William Ruto's government is going to fall at the incompetence, the weight of his incompetence. And I want to remind William Ruto one thing. If history is something you read, they said a good strategist must be very good in history. Go to China. In the year 1822, between 1822 and 1864, there lived a prime minister who was then not a prime minister, was called a king. He was called Hong Rengan. Hong Rengan was a very powerful prime minister at that time, was a king, and he wanted to change the entire military to reward his relatives, cousins, and the rest. And he brought in his first cousin, who was called Hong Qiuhuan. Hong Qiuhuan became the military commander, and he was so incompetent that it made Hong Rengan lose a war against his competition, who overthrew him. He was later arrested and was hanged. William Ruto, that is your fate. You are going to lose the election so poorly. Your men are going to do it so poorly that, in fact, you'll be arrested and actually you'll be hanged. If you're not careful, you'll be buried even outside Kenya, just like what happened to Mobutu Sese Seko. Go and ask Mugabe. He even died in Singapore. He didn't even die in Kenya. So that you are Singapore. You are talking about your grave, not us. God bless you. God bless Kenya.